This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. When a person is given a uniform, donned out in tactical gear, and given the so-called authority to police their citizens, we would expect that these people would take into consideration that there are women and children in the places they're going into. It is beyond my understanding why these words I'm about to say got only about a 2-day blip, even on social media, much less MSNBC or CNN. I'm going to rephrase this. When you put grown men into uniforms, tactical gear, masked, ripping children out of their homes in Chicago, Illinois, and you are filmed saying, "Fuck the children," you have lost all moral standards. Now, I'm getting a little tired of MAGA and Republicans talking about how they're the patriots and they're going to die for this country and they're going to defend this country. What country? What country did you ever earn here? You have contributed absolutely nothing. Since white people landed on Turtle Island, but terror, genocide, wars, and using the bodies of people of color to defend your flag all over the world. That time is over. And that change came from me personally when I heard those words, "fuck the children." When you no longer care about children, you don't care about me. You don't care about white children, black children, brown children, red children. All you care about is Donald Trump. All you care about is terrorism. All you care about is raping the United States of America. This is the richest nation in the world. And why wouldn't we be the greatest target? Nobody's asking about the Doge money. Why is that? Because they want you to deflect on this so-called democratic shutdown. That is not so. And you know this. But you've been programmed to latch on to the next thing and put that stuff out there, even on YouTube, with these bright yellow, you need to stop that. Listen to what I'm saying. Fuck the children. If you live in the United States and you are actually an American and not a puppet of Donald Trump and authoritarianism, if you are a person that is not on the Supreme Court getting money from APAC or one of Trump's stooges in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and you tell me I would fight for my country, I would die for my country, you don't have a choice what country you fight for. You fight for the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You don't have a right to change this country into what you think it should be. Because 70% of the population is ready to do otherwise. But I digress. Let me get back to this other thing. About everything being about about healthcare. Yes, I'm probably dying from something, but who gives a shit right now? Because I don't. Remember what I said before? Fuck the children. Who's going to defend them? Congress isn't doing it. Their parents lost their jobs. They got doged. Everybody forgot about that. They forgot about all the stolen money. All the money that has been laundered through the United States of America during the Epstein rapes, or whatever you want to call them. You call them the Epstein files. I call them the Epstein rapes. And J.P. Morgan Chase, under Jamie Dimon, I think his name is what facilitated this shit to happen. Donald Trump wants to talk about human trafficking and Latinos giving somebody a ride down the street to the fucking Home Depot. That's human trafficking now. But yet, and look him up, look up the whole file. That's what the Epstein files encompasses. But people are just not listening. You're not listening to the facts. The facts have been in your face all this time. And they have been documented on YouTube, but you're not listening. Okay? Jamie Dimon filtered money through Epstein to facilitate a worldwide network of human trafficking of women. 1,000 women is not the tip of the iceberg. This shit is global. And I might be hunted down and killed for this. At this point, I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? Unlike you, I'm not worried about a government shutdown. My ass has been shut down since 2014. When I became disabled and couldn't get disability. So at this point, I really don't give a fuck about getting Social Security or getting Medicaid. Because I'm going to die anyway. But I'm going to make goddamn sure that this message gets out before I do. So at any rate, let's see. Let me give you a litany list of the crimes that you are not concentrating on when you're worried about this government shutdown and you being without, I don't know, food, a place to stay, and all that kind of stuff. The stuff I've been dealing with for over 10 years. The crimes that have been committed, that Congress allowed and the Supreme Court allowed: insurrection, theft of classified documents, emoluments clause violations, extortion on media corporations, colleges, and law firms. Violations of the constitutional oath by Democrats who did not act when they had control of the Senate and the House because they were worried about optics. Perjury occurring right now every single day since every single confirmation that some Democrats voted for so that Donald Trump could have a cabinet. So what we did was give our money to fund authoritarianism. Now, the problem that I have with this government shutdown is that it wasn't a shutdown. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Like and subscribe to this video because it will bring us up in the algorithms, and it will also bring this content to you a lot quicker than if you point and click on John Brown Alliance. At any rate, this is not a democratic shutdown. The people that got doged, the farmers that are not getting paid now because there is no USAID, all the pharmaceutical companies that are, not making any money because we're not sending any drugs overseas, which, as I said before, was already allocated for by the last Congress under Joe Biden. All that money is still out there. And nobody in Congress is asking about it. At least I don't see any videos about it. So I'm going to say something to Democrats and Republicans once again about this government shutdown. We have already paid the taxes that you are asking us for again. We have already passed funds to be allocated in the last Congress for schools, school lunches, Medicaid, Medicare, and all these other things. You need to be demanding that before you demand out of us this. So what I'm saying to you, I don't want to put pressure on people that are already holding the line. I have seen Hakeem Jeffries out there. I have seen Gallegos out there, AOC, the usual suspects, and even Madeline Dean. I have seen you out there. We see you. But what Republicans don't see, and some of you don't see, is us. On the ground, what we hear the most, and I have said this also time and time again, is not the danger of losing our Medicaid and Medicare, and that being it. The greatest threat to every person that looks like me is being kidnapped off the streets by ICE. So one of the major demands, and you Democrats don't even realize it, how many Democrats are behind you on this? On the ground, not elected officials, on the ground. It doesn't matter, okay, who endorses you or how many petitions are signed and all of that. Those of us who are down here taking surveys and walking around in the absence of surveys or bullshit surveys or people that are only surveyed by 1,000 people, we know what's going on. We support you. Now, people are going to complain to you about being broken down, about not being able to pay their mortgage, and not being able to do this, and not being able to afford food and all of that. Well, in the 9 years since Donald Trump got elected the first time, thanks to James Comey, by the way, we have been organizing food banks. Most of them were successful during COVID. We've revived them now. Some of them can be found in doctor's offices in your state. If you don't have anything in your state, all you have to do is put a box up and say, take what you need, leave what you don't. And people will put food into it. I have seen it happen. Now, you might have to do without some creature comforts. That's a given. But if you really believe in your country and you're willing to die for it, the time to prove it is right now. If you really care about your children and you want to make a better world for them, the time to do it is not right, is right now. It is not to sit here and wait for somebody to negotiate your life terms. You make your life terms. 70% of the American public does not want this. There are 340,000 people living in the United States right now. People, human bodies. those bodies are going to start to be killed because people are not taking what we are saying seriously. It is very serious. This is not about a news cycle. This is not about a headline. This is about shit or get off the pot. If you're not going to be part of the solution right now, you're part of the problem. And that doesn't matter what party you belong to. Now, I say this to MAGA. Fulfilling the unlawful and treasonous wish list of a monster. That's what you're doing. This is like the Rosenbergs, Nixon, the Lost Cause, all rolled up into one. And how you act is absolutely disgusting. Not only is it disgusting, but you assume that the rest of us are intimidated, and we are not. Not at all. It's really, it's almost like, let's say this. ICE likes their ICE porn, where they take all these videos showing people of color being abused. Our white privilege porn is watching you make a fucking ass of yourself on television supporting Donald Trump, knowing that every single black person in Congress right now is probably smarter than you. If they understand their history. What you are witnessing right now is not what they tell you. Democrats, anti-fascists, and socialists are not domestic terrorists. You can see it all over YouTube. The only people that are committing crimes against Americans are wearing the uniform of this country or one of its agencies. The greatest being ICE. Know your enemy. Those people are comprised and have been comprised for some time of sycophants to Donald Trump, white supremacists, Proud Boys, and Oath Keepers. And that's who's signing up in droves right now to be part of ICE. So you have to make a choice for your own family right now. It is my true belief that nobody is going to come rescue you. So you need to keep your head on a swivel, keep your friends aware of what's going on, and get ready to protect yourself. Because this is a hostile takeover of the United States government by what I believe, what I know to be a terrorist organization. Donald Trump can get on MSNBC and CNN can blow this shit up 10 ways to Sunday. But they never show any clips of all this Trende Awagra activity or Antifa brutalizing people and all these riots and fires and all this shit. Notice that when Kristi Noem and Donald Trump and get on there and the first thing they say, people are saying, we have heard. That's not factual. And that's something the Supreme Court needs to understand. The Supreme Court needs to stop whining about how nobody believes in them and they have no faith in them and start upholding your fucking oath, number one. Number two, stop grifting. Because after we're done getting rid of this president, Your head is on the chopping block legally. Because already right now, governments all over the world are watching what you're doing. This will be your undoing. You won't be able to exist in the United States of America in peace after this. I assure you of that. You ought to look up the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. These PT manifestations of the lost cause, thinking as Republicans that you can come out here and bully people like us, you are playing to an audience of one. We're playing to an audience of 340 million people. And the beauty of all of this was and I predicted this too, just like I predicted Donald Trump being president the second time and Nancy Pelosi fucking this up and Merrick Garland. I'm going to predict this too. No, I know part of it to be fact. But when everybody got doged, fired because they were black, DEI, women, white people in the military, people who could make vaccines, scientists, hackers, the list goes on and on and on, to include attorneys, brilliant attorneys. The thing that was not calculated by the Trump administration is replacing them with sycophants and idiots. Guess where all the people are now? The unemployed. Those who are going to starve and get pissed off. They're among us. They are the resistance now. So you did us a huge solid by firing them because they got nothing but time. That's where they fucked up. Not only that, every single time any Democrat tries to dupe us in to believing that healthcare is the issue and the only issue, don't forget, our advisors are the ones you were okay with not fighting against getting fired. But we'll deal with that later. So I'm going to take this back to 1930-something. When a guy named Adolf Hitler started gaining power and whining about being white and blaming the Jews for everything and how we got here. After the final solution, and the United States had to do the right thing and go off and join World War II and liberate the Jews from all these concentration camps, they didn't want them all here in the United States. So a lot were encouraged to go to Israel and take over Palestinian lands. Since then, we have funneled money, hand over fist, into the state of Israel. Because we owed them for not coming here and browning or whatever color Jewish people are our population. But we realized that strategic location of this colonization of another American state. This is why over time, the Palestinian issue has been treated the same way it is in the United States right now. Muslims in Gaza are Antifa. We don't like the way they think. We don't like their religion. We don't like their dark skin. We don't like that. So the United States government keeps sending money into that because it protects their interests over here in America. And not only that, because of this allegiance with Israel, Republicans and Democrats benefit from funds and donations for their elections. But I digress. So let's get back to the Gazans. Consider blue state America, the Gaza Strip. And we're paying all these taxes and paying all this money. And all we're getting is people being disappeared, or cities being invaded, occupations. Now in Israel, it came in the form of settlements. In America, it comes in the form of intimidation by the National Guard and ICE being sent there. Now in the blue states, you're Gaza, and you're told to be peaceful. Little by little, one by one, your kinfolk are being disappeared or killed or shot. Just recently, in the blue state of Chicago, they had drones out there, helicopters, people jumping out of shit, landing on the ground. And every single person got taken out in the middle of the night and zip-tied. And the children were zip-tied together, and they said, fuck those children. What's to stop the next time one of those children's heads being blown off? Because ICE is comprised of Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. You can see it in the way they handle the elderly. What's to stop that? What's next? Since they're making videos, all this, so they can put it on their ICE website. And the worldwide community needs to go on government websites and look at these fucking videos, so that you know what's happening to us. Because this is genocide. What's next? We have a demented president with a cult that's following him, and a Congress that is okay with killing children, slaughtering children, and sending them to death camps. This man has the nuclear codes. What's next for America? If we don't listen and learn from our history, it's not the Insurrection Act. That's something to distract you so that you get over there and you want to talk about it. The next time he wants to punish a city for not voting for him or being blue, he's going to drop one of them fucking bombs like he did over in the ocean on these boats off the coast of South America. That's how he rolls. He is a fucking monster. And if you think anything different, or the process is going to work, something is wrong with your morality, not mine. I don't feel bad about fuck Charlie Kirk. Okay? Fuck him. Because he is one of them. He is a monster, just like them. And if you continue to capitulate and continue to stroke Republicans' ego, you're going to be just as dead as I am pretty soon. This needs to stop right now. And it needs to stop probably before Thanksgiving. Because once that clock turns and we go into 2026, Every last person in the United States of America that did not vote for Donald Trump is going to suffer greatly because this is escalating. He wants a civil war. And people need to stop telling people, do these peaceful marches and all this. Yes, do them peaceful, that's fine. But at what point? At what point do we defend ourselves? They're lawless. Are we supposed to be like the Palestinians and just get slaughtered? Is that it? Because the difference between blue states and Palestine is that we have the deep pockets, not red America. We have the money to finance another militia, not white America. We pay more taxes than all of you, not white America, in red states. So what we need to do is rethink our strategy. Because if Donald Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, then the blue states should have no further business with the United States of America. Because right now, most of us have lost our jobs. We don't have any school funding. We don't have any school lunches. We're losing Medicaid. Our grandmothers are going to be kicked out on the first of the year or soon after out of nursing homes. We don't have any infrastructure money. And I'm going to say in the words of Donald Trump, what the fuck do you have to lose by standing up for yourself? Fuck the children? No, not fuck the children. Some of us, unlike many of you, are going to stand up for those children. And we might lose our lives. And some of us are prepared for that. You obviously are not. Hope you catch up in time, because you haven't until now. This is the John Brown Alliance. When tyranny becomes law, resistance becomes duty.